Go live. Let's go. Ah, there we are. Hi, YouTube. Finally got you. All right. Welcome to Wolf Den Creation Connections. I'm reading creation on the card. So I've been doing the Bible. So it's not the Bible in a year, like reading the whole Bible. We're just reading segments of the Bible, and it takes a whole year to go through this book called the Bible in a year. Okay. So we are on day 6. So here we go. This is day 6. We're going to be doing Romans 1, 2, or 120. We've already done all those verses prior to that. And then with this, there are reflections for each week. And these reflections are, where could you spend 10 minutes today outside with God? Again, I failed at this. I didn't spend any time outside today. I got a perm this morning, and then I had to go grocery shopping, because Victoria's coming to watch the dogs for the next 5 days. And then I came home and edited some senior photos, and then I had dinner, and here we are. So, all right, the second thing is, what is one room or space in your house that needs God's creative order? Name 3 steps. Well, one of the rooms that needs creative order is this room itself, and we got rid of the futon today, so that was a huge blessing. And my husband had something very wise to say about that, because we bought that several years ago so we would have some place for someone to stay. But this room is so small, and it's the only place to have an office, and so it became our office, and the futon has been sitting on its side for a cat perch now for a while, and we didn't know what to do with it. And we have a friend whose son just got a house, just signed today, and so I offered it to him, and he took it. So Ron goes, it was his all along. We were just storing it for him. God gave you a seed to sow. And I'm like, here I was, frustrated, not knowing what to do with the darn thing. We were just sowing a seed. So, all right. Who needs to be reminded of God's love this week? Send them a note. I did send out a note yesterday. Can't see because of the light. And I'll be sending one out tonight before I go to bed. All right. So we are going to read Romans 1, chapter 1, verse 20. I love the book of Romans. I probably say that about every book in the Bible, but Romans is still one of my favorites. All right, Romans. Lady, I hear you. She thinks I'm being mean. I'm not being mean. All right, Romans 1, verse 20. In the NIV says, "For since the creation of the world, God's invisible qualities, his eternal power and divine nature, have been clearly seen, being understood from what has been made, so that people are without excuse." In the Message Bible, I'm going to read, let's do 18 through 23, because that's the section that it comes in. And the heading of it is Ignoring God leads to a downward spiral. But God's angry displeasure erupts as acts of human mistrust and wrongdoing are accumulate as people try to put a shroud over truth. But the basic reality of God is plain enough. Open your eyes, and there it is. By taking a long and thoughtful look at what God has created, people have always been able to see with their eyes as such can't see. Eternal power, for instance, and the mystery of his divine being. So nobody has a good excuse. What happened was this. People knew God perfectly well, but when they didn't treat him like God, refusing to worship him, they trivialized themselves into silliness and confusion, so that there was neither sense nor direction left in their lives. They pretended to know it all, but were illiterate regarding life. They traded the glory of God, who holds the whole world in his hands, for cheap figurines you can buy at a roadside stand. So he's talking about idols and things that we collect in our life to take the place of God himself. And it's very important that we stay on track. When God enters our life, that we continue to keep our eyes focused on what he's doing. The other part of this is there is no excuse. I mean, science tries to debuff, creation, but how many times have scientists tried to figure out creation, and they tried to science it away, only to end up following after Jesus. That story happens quite a bit. And so we have no excuse when we open our eyes and take our breaths in the morning and take in the expanse of who God is. There's just no denying that he's in control and in charge. So that was the reading for today. Tomorrow I will be reading day 7, Revelations 4:11. And just to forewarn you that I will be in the middle of nowhere tomorrow. We're going to a cabin that's it's on Muskegon Lake, ironically. We're going 2 hours away from here, and we'll still can't get away from Muskegon. But she said the internet works pretty well out there, so we'll just have to play it by ear. I'll take all this stuff with me, and you'll see me out there. But don't forget to join me in the morning for the 12-day devotional. I'll be doing that probably around 7:30, 8 o'clock, because I have an appointment at 9. So anywho, have a great night. And just in case you need to see this one more time, this is what we're on for week 1. All right. I'll see you guys later. Have a good night.